Hey everybody, Brian Von Vier here. Welcome back to another set of D&D stories. Today we're going to be talking about what are some of the worst home brews you've ever heard. And if you have one, please put it in the comments below. My DM made a magic item that not only doubles all lightning damage dealt, but allows you to cast a lightning bolt spell as a bonus action, without any restrictions. Oh, he was new. I don't know if this counts, but a DM who I played with for all of 2 minutes ruled that any action that wasn't walking broke invisibility. I was explaining to the party who I met 2 minutes prior that if they needed me to scout, I could use the spell invisibility. The conversation went like this. I cast invisibility, so if we need to scout, we should be fine.
Yeah, but if you do anything, it'll break the spell.
Well, yeah, but I can still open doors and...
Nope, you do anything like that and you'll decloak in the middle of an orc camp.
The absolute eagerness in his voice to shut me down told me that this was a man completely obsessed with controlling and punishing his players. The signs were there when I was signing up, but I thought I'd give it a go. Only to be railroaded twice in the first and last 5 minutes. Oh, this one sounds good.
Healing potions require a con save, since in my world, they take a whisper of your soul to make. So, there's a chance you turn into a powerful creature, since only those can still make healing potions. Nah.
Literally had a tiefling almost turn into a solar. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that this would also make your character an NPC, so you had to roll a new one. That's a really broken-ass mechanic. A fighter subclass I wrote a while ago. In combat, it gains points by mixing ranged and melee attacks and can spend this point on maneuvers similar to a battle master. You'd lose all points when you exit combat, so it's like a momentum-based subclass. Yeah, I never got to actually use any of the maneuvers effectively because combat ended too quickly, or the maneuvers were straight up useless unless certain edge cases were met. A moon elf race that, on a full moon, gets to double their intelligence score. Yeah, read that again. Score, not modifier. And gain advantage on all dex-based attacks, checks, and saves. That person kept arguing that the fact the buff was situational made it balanced, and that a good DM could and should create the conditions for this boost to come up once every 4 sessions. Ooh, they were really trying to turbo min-max that. From personal experience, I was once on a D&D server where somebody who was still very new to the game made a homebrew race. The name was something along the lines of Bugman. Homeless man. The race in general seemed to have too many traits. Flight, unarmored defense, natural weapons, proficiencies, and about 7 more strong traits. But the worst part was something similar to like a sub-race which gave dodge as a bonus action without limit. A bit of constructive criticism, and the player was quick to understand their mistakes, made a new playable version that was very interesting without being way too strong and able to do anything. From a not-so-personal experience, the lowest rated post on D&D Beyond. I don't have to say much more. You tell me more, I want to know. What's your lowest scored post that you found? Ranger subclass that uses a gun. Even if he misses his shot, he still does half damage because it passes by so close. A friend of mine plays in a game where necrotic damage is a permanent reduction in HP. The level 7 or maybe 8 fighter has 39 HP. A nat 20 on initiative earns you get an extra turn at the start of combat. Nat 1 means you miss your first go at combat. Critical fumbles exist. All of this while running modded Tales of the Yawning Portal. So, not exactly a walk in the park adventure. What's the Yawning Portal? Now I'm curious. Some of the homebrew we made in teenage years. Armor for every body part with allowing to attack specifically. Each armor had its own weight and price. Everything was heavier and pricier, but with no change to encumbrance. Giving monsters weak points, which if rolled well, were found with their own AC and only like 10% of the original monster's HP. Killing it would kill the monsters. As a kid DMing my friends in 2nd edition, I combined a fog cloud spell with fireball. The fog spread out on the first round and ignited on the second. I had forgotten that the area effect of the cloud was huge, so when the party used it on an invading army attacking the fortress they were defending, well, they wiped out the entire battalion in one shot. Let me tell you the story of how a chair almost wiped the entire party and ended the campaign. Oh, I'm excited. This happened in a Pathfinder game. Yes, I love Pathfinder. We need more of those. They were in some cottage looking for some, I don't know, plot device or another, and we get attacked by a chair that's been possessed by some sort of spirit. Specifically, not a mimic. Some sort of poltergeist situation. Quite cool, I like it. It goes for the wizard first and incapacitates her in one hit, before anyone in the party has had a turn. I'm a barbarian with a two-handed axe and high strength, so surely some wooden furniture stands no chance, right? Oh no. Apparently I can't get past the AC. The druid does some druid stuff with no effect. Our fourth party member is still outside the cottage, and the DM decides that he can't possibly fit inside, so there's nothing he can do. What follows is several rounds of us trying to damage or otherwise stop a rampaging chair with little effect. It incapacitated the druid next, then my barbarian. Finally, the last party member is able to drag one of us out and roll a lucky crit to stop this thing. The fight went on for so long that the wizard actually died, and the druid and I were one failed save away from death. Afterward, we're all a little upset at how that went down, especially the wizard, who's now looking at rolling a new character because of some furniture she didn't even get to fight. The DM explains that he was tired of us defeating all of his encounters, so he juiced this one up a little by looking at our character sheets and setting the AC out of reach for me and the fourth party member unless we rolled very well, and giving it some specific resistances for the druid. He couldn't figure out how to prevent the wizard from destroying it if she chose to use a specific spell, so he knew he had to take her out first and amped up the damage accordingly. So number one, you broke the golden rule of a DM by trying to beat the characters. That's a no-no. You're out as a DM. But number two, you literally decided to metagame to an extent where you, I guess, ruined the fun for everybody else, and you caused someone to actually die in-game. What is wrong with this DM? Based off of the Land Before Time. Oh lord, this can't end well. A PC played a lizard folk, but reskinned as a dinosaur. They said the only thing they could say in response to anything was, yep, yep. So it resulted in them feeling like they weren't being taken seriously, because no one fucking knew what they were saying. What did you expect? A butterfly in a magical forest which, if it touches a bag of holding, results in a complete destruction of the bag and all items inside. Our DM at the time wanted to punish us for using bags of holding for, well, holding items. What did you want them to do with it? Did you want them to just shove it up their butthole and make a prison pocket that's endless? You got to start the game with a randomly generated jar of a specific organ from a specific monster. Orc eyes, spider blood, centaur bones, etc. That sounds kind of fun. I actually made this for one of my first games between my brother and I for no reason and gave him absolutely nothing to do with his jar of entrails. Okay, that part's not cool, but the idea of that is actually really stunning. I kind of like it. It's not innovative, but it gives you a good plot hook for a future quest line, possibly. If the enemy saves with a natural 20, they cannot be affected by the same spell the next round. Really sucks for save cantrips. Same DM allowed an extra action if you didn't move that round. Saw a homebrew on here for a monk without ki. Op said he wanted to be a martial artist fighter without the spirituality. Basically amounted to stripping out every ki ability and in its place giving the character either an ASI or an additional die to add to their damage rolls. Oh, we tried to push him towards the pugilist homebrew as a better base to work off of, or even just try and make it a fighter subclass similar to the Battle Master, but the OP, oh yeah, was adamant that the build was only a few tweaks away from being balanced. A classic decent idea, but terrible execution. Removing attack rolls and treating AC as a damage threshold instead, huh? Now, your magic missile does 0 damage to a goblin even if you roll max damage. What? You somehow deal more damage to oozes even with your bare fists? Crits are so wild as you only need to roll max damage, so you now have a huge chance to crit things. And also, you, making combat much more swingy. Yeah, that does not sound like a good idea in the slightest. My DM came up with an entirely different combat system where we were commanded troops instead of fighting. Okay, it was super boring. No one enjoyed it, and worst of all, he said he wanted to use this system for the final boss fight. Oh, absolutely not. I didn't play in this campaign for 2 years for the final fight to be my character chilling while other people fight the big bad evil guy. I didn't hear a lot of bad homebrew, so I'll name the stupidest one I've made, and haven't used. The Eat a Random Rock table. Okay, rolling an 18 to 20 means no damage. Rolling a 14 to 17 means you're dealt some small number of bludgeoning damage from chewing on the rock. Rolling a 3 to 13 deals some number of poisoning damage on top of bludgeoning, and it increases the lower you roll, as you have consumed poisonous minerals. Rolling a 1 to 2 deals radiant, poisoning, and bludgeoning damage because you've successfully chewed on some radioactive material. This was made to punish players that decided to just eat some random rock, specifically the one who wanted to consume everything and turn everything into a drug. Yep, okay, I've known players like that. I hate players like that. Quit being such a, I'm so edgy, I'm so cool. Shut up. Crit fumble tables. I already groan when my attacks miss. I don't want to stab myself to death with my own sword, too. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense anyway. In my very first campaign, I had 2 Hexblade warlocks who both wanted a magic weapon. So with my best friend, I designed one, and we tweaked and reworked and tweaked and reworked until we had a somewhat good and not too imbalanced item. The second Hexblade, however, wanted to bring his own magic item that he found online, since he got it from another DM for the same character. And well, he didn't want to switch characters. So I take a look at this thing, and boy was I naive and didn't know what I was doing. It had integrated level scaling. Cool concept, which was just undeniably too strong once we reached the higher levels. That thing had abilities. Just some examples, and this is maxed out. Unlimited range/uses on Hexblade's Curse at level 20. Critical hit on a 17 or higher. Triple the dice on a crit. Nope. 4d12 damage on hit, and instead of regular damage, it's force damage. Oh, that's bad. I'm sure there were more, but yeah, this thing kinda was nuts. Played a 3.5 campaign where the DM took about 1/4 of the cleric spell list away from them and gave them to the wizards. Also, nobody could play a wizard. Also, the big bad evil guy was a wizard. Well, I was the cleric. The spells that were taken were all the ones the DM thought felt more arcane, like Enhance Magic Flow, Imbue with Spell Ability, Plane Shift, and Magic Weapon. Also, Resist Energy was removed entirely and split into 5 separate spells. Why would you do that? A DM gave my sorcerer an orb that I could use to empower my spells at the cost of health. Naturally, I always ended up using it to reduce myself to 1 HP in order to turn my already upcast fireball into a nuclear weapon. The pro move was using it to empower a twinned spell power word, Kill, to murder the big bad evil guy and her pocket cleric in one turn. A pocket cleric? One that just like pops out of their like bag of holding, like, hello, I cast healing. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of like that. That'd be kind of cute, like a pocket pixie. There you go. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and to ring that bell to get notified whenever we post a brand new video. Also, if you have a homebrew that you'd like to share that's pretty bad or kind of stupid, go ahead and do so in the comments below. And don't forget, come say hi to me too, Brian Von VA, over on Twitch. Love you all, be safe, be happy, and we'll see you next time.